What if I told you that the secret to changing your life isn't about making massive leaps, but tiny, almost invisible steps? Imagine improving just 1% every single day. Sounds small, right? But what if that 1% compounded over time? What if, in a year, you weren't just a little better, you were 37 times better? Stick around, because this isn't just about motivation. This is about a system, a philosophy, a way of life that can transform you from the inside out. Let's get real for a second. Life is messy. It's chaotic. And most of the time, it feels like we're just trying to keep our heads above water. We set big goals, dream big dreams, but then reality hits. We get overwhelmed, distracted, or just plain stuck. But what if I told you there's a way to cut through the noise? A way to build a life of purpose, resilience, and growth, not by chasing some unrealistic ideal, but by focusing on the smallest, most manageable steps? That's what we're diving into today. Here's the thing. Most of us are stuck in a cycle of wanting change, but not knowing where to start. We look at where we are, compare it to where we want to be, and the gap feels impossible to bridge. We think, I need to work harder, do more, be better. But that mindset, it's exhausting, and it's why so many of us give up before we even start. The truth is, real change doesn't come from grand gestures or overnight transformations. It comes from consistency. It comes from showing up every single day, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Because here's the secret. You are. Even if it's just 1%. The power of small wins. Think about it. What's easier, running a marathon tomorrow or walking for 10 minutes today? Small wins build momentum. They create a sense of progress, even when the bigger picture feels out of reach. Start with something so simple it's almost laughable. Read one page of a book. Do one push-up. Write one sentence. The key is to make it so easy you can't say no. Small wins are the foundation of lasting change. They're the building blocks that over time create something extraordinary. But here's the thing. Most people underestimate them. They think, what's the point of doing something so small? It won't make a difference. But that's where they're wrong. Small wins matter because they're achievable. They're realistic. And most importantly, they're sustainable. Let's break it down. Imagine you want to get in shape. The thought of running a marathon or lifting heavy weights might feel overwhelming. But walking for 10 minutes? That's doable. And once you've done it once, you can do it again, and again, and again. Before you know it, those 10-minute walks have turned into a habit. And that habit? It's the first step toward a healthier, stronger you. The same principle applies to anything you want to achieve. Want to write a book? Start with one sentence. Want to learn a new skill? Spend 5 minutes practicing. Want to improve your relationships? Send one thoughtful text. The key is to start small, so small that it feels almost too easy. Because when it's easy, you're more likely to do it. And when you do it consistently, that's when the magic happens. Small wins also have a psychological effect. They give you a sense of accomplishment. They prove to yourself that you can do it. And that proof? It's powerful. It builds confidence. It creates momentum. And momentum is what keeps you going even when things get tough. So, here's the challenge. Identify one small win you can achieve today. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be impressive. It just has to be something. Because something is always better than nothing. And that something, it's the first step toward everything. The compound effect. Here's where it gets interesting. Improving 1% every day doesn't just add up, it multiplies. It's like interest in a bank account. At first, the growth is barely noticeable, but over time, it becomes exponential. In a year, that 1% daily improvement means you're 37 times better than where you started. That's not just progress, that's transformation. The compound effect is the secret behind all great success stories. It's the reason why small, consistent actions lead to massive results. But here's the catch. It takes time, and patience, and discipline. Because in the beginning, you won't see much of a difference. You'll feel like you're putting in a lot of effort for very little reward. But that's exactly the point. Think about planting a tree. On day 1, you dig a hole, put the seed in, and cover it with soil. You water it, you wait. And for a while, nothing happens. The seed is underground, doing its thing, but you can't see it. Then, after a few weeks, a tiny sprout appears. It's small. It's fragile. But it's there. And if you keep watering it, keep nurturing it, that sprout will grow and grow and grow until one day it's a towering tree. That's the compound effect in action. It's slow, it's steady, and it's incredibly powerful. But here's the thing. Most people give up before they see the results. They get impatient, they get frustrated, and they quit. But the ones who stick with it, they're the ones who reap the rewards. Let's apply this to your life. Say you want to get better at public speaking. On day 1, you practice for 5 minutes. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and you don't feel like you're getting any better. But you do it again the next day, and the next, and the next. Over time, those 5 minutes add up. Your confidence grows, your skills improve, and before you know it, you're not just good at public speaking, you're great at it. The same principle applies to anything you want to achieve. Want to save money? Start by putting aside $1 a day. Want to get in shape? Do 1 push-up a day. Want to learn a new language? Spend 5 minutes practicing. The key is consistency, because consistency is what turns small actions into big results. So, here's the challenge. Commit to improving 1% every day. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be life-changing. It just has to be consistent, because consistency is the secret sauce. It's the difference between where you are and where you want to be. And over time, that 1%, it adds up. It compounds, and it transforms. Focus on systems, not goals. Goals are great, but they're not enough. Why? Because goals are about the destination. Systems are about the journey. If you want to get in shape, don't just focus on losing 20 pounds. Focus on building a system, like working out 3 times a week or eating more vegetables. Systems create habits. Habits create change. Let's break this down. Goals are the big, shiny targets we set for ourselves. They're the what of our lives. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to write a book. I want to start a business. And there's nothing wrong with having goals. They give us direction. They give us something to aim for. But here's the problem. Goals don't tell us how to get there. They don't tell us what to do every single day to make progress. That's where systems come in. Systems are the how. They're the daily habits, routines, and processes that move us closer to our goals. If your goal is to lose 20 pounds, your system might be working out 3 times a week and eating more vegetables. If your goal is to write a book, your system might be writing 500 words a day. If your goal is to start a business, your system might be spending an hour a day working on your business plan. The beauty of systems is that they're actionable. They're concrete. They give you something to do every single day. And when you focus on your system, something amazing happens. You stop worrying about the outcome. You stop stressing about whether or not you're going to reach your goal. Instead, you focus on the process. You focus on showing up every day and doing the work. And over time, that work adds up. Here's the thing. Goals are finite. Once you reach them, they're done. You lose the 20 pounds, you write the book, you start the business. But systems, they're infinite. They're ongoing. They're the habits and routines that shape your life. And when you focus on building a good system, you don't just achieve your goals, you create a lifestyle that supports your growth. Let's take fitness as an example. If your goal is to lose 20 pounds, you might go on a strict diet and work out like crazy for a few months. And you might even reach your goal. But what happens after that? If you don't have a system in place, you're likely to fall back into old habits. You'll gain the weight back, and you'll be right back where you started. But if you focus on building a system, like working out 3 times a week and eating more vegetables, you're not just losing weight. You're creating a lifestyle that supports your health. You're building habits that will last a lifetime. And when you do that, the weight loss becomes a natural byproduct. The same principle applies to anything you want to achieve. If your goal is to write a book, you might set a deadline and push yourself to write as much as possible in a short amount of time. But if you don't have a system in place, like writing 500 words a day, you're likely to burn out. You'll get frustrated, and you might even give up. But if you focus on building a system, you're not just writing a book, you're creating a habit of writing every day. You're developing the discipline and consistency that will help you not just finish this book, but write many more in the future. Here's the bottom line. Goals are important, but they're not enough. If you want to achieve lasting change, you need to focus on your system. You need to focus on the daily habits and routines that will move you closer to your goals. Because when you focus on your system, the goals take care of themselves. So, here's the challenge. Identify one system you can start building today. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something you can do consistently. Because consistency is the key. It's the difference between dreaming about a better life and actually living it. And remember, systems aren't just about achieving goals. They're about creating a lifestyle that supports your growth. They're about building habits that will help you not just reach your goals, but sustain them. So focus on your system, show up every day, do the work, and watch what happens. Because when you focus on the journey, the destination takes care of itself. Embrace the process. Here's the hard truth. You're not going to see results overnight, and that's okay. The process isn't always glamorous. Some days it's going to feel like you're spinning your wheels, but those days matter just as much as the days when everything clicks. Trust the process. Trust the 1%. Let's be real for a second. We live in a world that's obsessed with instant gratification. We want results, and we want them now. We want to lose weight fast, make money fast, and achieve success fast. But here's the thing. Real growth doesn't work that way. Real growth is slow, it's messy, and it's often invisible. Think about it. When you plant a seed, you don't see the plant grow overnight. You don't even see it grow in a week. It takes time. It takes patience. And it takes consistent care. The same is true for personal growth. You're not going to see the results right away, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. The process is where the magic happens. It's where you build the habits, develop the skills, and cultivate the mindset that will lead to lasting change. But here's the catch. The process isn't always fun. Some days it's going to feel like you're not making any progress. Some days it's going to feel like you're stuck. And that's okay. Those days are just as important as the days when everything goes right. In fact, they might even be more important. Because those are the days that test your commitment. Those are the days that separate the people who give up from the people who keep going. Here's the thing. Growth isn't linear. It's not a straight line from where you are to where you want to be. It's full of ups and downs, twists and turns. Some days you'll feel like you're on top of the world. Other days you'll feel like you're back at square one. But that's all part of the process. The key is to keep showing up. Even on the days when it feels like you're not making progress. Even on the days when it feels like you're spinning your wheels. Because those are the days that build resilience. Those are the days that build character. And those are the days that ultimately lead to success. Let's take fitness as an example. If you're trying to get in shape, you're not going to see results overnight. You're not going to wake up one day and suddenly have a six-pack. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. And it's going to take consistency. Some days you'll feel strong and motivated. Other days you'll feel tired and unmotivated. But those are the days that matter the most. Those are the days when you prove to yourself that you're committed. Those are the days when you build the discipline that will carry you through. The same is true for anything you want to achieve. If you're trying to learn a new skill, you're not going to master it overnight. It's going to take practice. It's going to take patience. And it's going to take persistence. Some days you'll feel like you're making progress. Other days you'll feel like you're stuck. But that's all part of the process. The key is to keep going, to keep practicing, to keep learning. Because over time, those small incremental improvements will add up. Here's the bottom line. The process isn't always glamorous, it's not always exciting, but it's where the real growth happens. It's where you build the habits, develop the skills, and cultivate the mindset that will lead to lasting change. So here's the challenge. Embrace the process. Trust the process. Even on the days when it feels like you're not making progress. Even on the days when it feels like you're spinning your wheels. Because those are the days that matter the most. And remember, growth isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up every day and doing the work. It's about trusting that the small incremental improvements will add up over time. So, keep going. Keep showing up. Keep trusting the process. Because when you do, you'll look back and realize that every step, every stumble, and every setback was worth it. Because the process is the path. And the path is where the magic happens. The role of discipline motivation is fleeting. Discipline is forever. You're not always going to feel like doing the work. That's when discipline steps in. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up even when you don't want to. Let's talk about motivation first. Motivation is that burst of energy, that spark of inspiration that gets you started. It's what makes you excited to chase your goals. But here's the thing about motivation. It doesn't last. It comes and goes. Some days you'll wake up feeling unstoppable. Other days you'll wake up feeling like you'd rather stay in bed. And that's where discipline comes in. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation runs out. It's what gets you out of bed on those days when you don't feel like it. It's what makes you put in the work even when it's hard. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not exciting. But it's the backbone of success. Think about it. If you only worked out when you felt motivated, how often would you actually work out? Probably not very often. But if you commit to working out 3 times a week, no matter how you feel, you're going to see results. That's the power of discipline. Discipline is about consistency. It's about showing up every day, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you'd rather be doing something else. Because here's the truth. Success isn't about doing the right thing once in a while. It's about doing the right thing over and over again. Let's break it down. Say you want to write a book. Some days the words will flow easily. Other days, you'll stare at a blank page and feel like you have nothing to say. But if you're disciplined, you'll write anyway. You'll show up every day, even when it's hard. And over time, those small, consistent efforts will add up. The same is true for anything you want to achieve. If you want to get in shape, you're not always going to feel like working out. Some days you'll feel tired. Some days you'll feel lazy. But if you're disciplined, you'll do it anyway. You'll show up even when you don't want to. And over time, those small, consistent efforts will add up. Here's the thing. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's not about never missing a workout or never skipping a day of writing. It's about getting back on track when you fall off. It's about showing up even when it's hard, let's be honest. There are going to be days when you don't feel like doing the work. There are going to be days when you'd rather stay in bed, watch TV, or do anything but what you're supposed to be doing. And that's okay. What matters is what you do next. Do you give in to the temptation, or do you push through and do the work anyway? That's where discipline comes in. It's what helps you push through the resistance. It's what helps you stay focused on your goals, even when it's hard. Discipline is also about priorities. It's about knowing what's important to you and making sure you're putting your time and energy into those things. It's about saying no to distractions and yes to the things that matter. Let's take fitness as an example. If you're disciplined, you'll prioritize your workouts. You'll schedule them into your day and make sure they happen, no matter what. You'll say no to the things that get in the way, like staying up too late or skipping the gym because you're tired. The same is true for anything you want to achieve. If you're disciplined, you'll prioritize the things that matter. You'll make time for them, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's hard. Here's the bottom line. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. It's what helps you push through the resistance. It's what helps you stay focused on your goals, even when it's hard. So here's the challenge. Build your discipline. Start small. Commit to doing one thing every day, no matter how you feel. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be impressive. It just has to be consistent. And remember, discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, even when you don't want to. It's about doing the work, even when it's hard. Because when you do, you'll look back and realize that every small, consistent effort was worth it. Because discipline is the key to success. It's what turns dreams into reality. It's what helps you achieve your goals, even when motivation runs out. So, keep going. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. Because when you do, you'll see the results. And those results, they'll be worth it. Sick. The importance of reflection improvement isn't accidental. It's intentional, deliberate, and requires conscious effort. In our fast-paced world where productivity is often measured by the number of tasks completed, we easily fall into the trap of constant action without reflection. We hustle, tick off checklists, and keep moving forward. But without pausing to reflect, progress becomes a gamble. We might be moving, but not necessarily in the right direction. This is why reflection is crucial. It turns action into progress. It bridges the gap between doing and growing. Reflection isn't about dwelling on the past. It's about learning from it. At the end of each day, taking a moment to pause and ask yourself one simple question. Did I get 1% better today? This small question holds great power. It forces you to evaluate your actions, decisions, and experiences with a growth mindset. It isn't about perfection or grand achievements. It's about progress, however small. Even a tiny step forward is better than standing still or moving backward. When you reflect, you gain clarity. You start seeing patterns, both good and bad. You identify what works and what doesn't. Maybe you notice that you're more productive in the morning, but lose focus in the afternoon. Perhaps you realize that a particular task took longer than expected because you weren't fully prepared. These insights are invaluable. They help you understand yourself better, enabling you to make smarter choices tomorrow. Reflection helps you celebrate small wins. In our pursuit of bigger goals, we often overlook the little victories. But progress is built on these small successes. Acknowledging them boosts your motivation and confidence. It reinforces the belief that you are capable of growth. It also cultivates gratitude, helping you appreciate the journey rather than just the destination. On the flip side, reflection also makes you confront your failures. It forces you to acknowledge where you fell short. This isn't easy, but it's necessary. Growth doesn't come from avoiding mistakes. It comes from learning from them. When you reflect on your failures, you shift from a victim mindset to a problem-solving mindset. Instead of blaming circumstances, you take responsibility. You ask yourself what you could have done differently and how you can avoid repeating the same mistake. This process of self-evaluation enhances self-awareness. You become more in tune with your strengths, weaknesses, values, and priorities. You understand your motivations and fears. This self-awareness is a powerful tool for personal growth. It helps you make decisions that align with your values and long-term goals rather than getting swayed by short-term impulses. Reflection also fosters resilience. When you look back and see how you overcame challenges, it reminds you of your strength and adaptability. It shows you that setbacks are temporary and that growth often comes through struggle. This perspective helps you bounce back faster when faced with new challenges. Moreover, reflection improves focus and productivity. By analyzing how you spent your time, you identify distractions and unproductive habits. You learn to eliminate time wasters and optimize your routines. This intentional approach increases efficiency, allowing you to achieve more in less time. However, reflection is only effective when followed by action. Simply acknowledging what went wrong or right isn't enough. You need to make adjustments. If you realize that social media is eating up your productivity, set limits on its usage. If you notice that exercising in the morning energizes you, make it a daily habit. The goal is to translate insights into actionable steps. This iterative cycle of reflection and adjustment creates a continuous loop of improvement. Every day becomes an opportunity to learn and grow. It keeps you on track and prevents you from becoming complacent. Even on days when you don't see significant progress, reflection helps you recognize that growth is not always linear. Some days are about learning hard lessons, and that's progress too. A common misconception is that reflection requires a lot of time. It doesn't. Even 5 minutes of honest introspection can make a difference. The key is consistency. Make it a daily habit. It could be during your evening walk, while journaling before bed, or even during a quiet moment of meditation. Find what works for you and stick to it. The question, "Did I get 1% better today?" is powerful because it sets realistic expectations. It acknowledges that growth is a gradual process. You don't need to make giant leaps every day. Small, consistent improvements compound over time. Just 1% better each day leads to significant progress over weeks, months, and years. Sometimes the answer to this question will be no. There will be days when you feel stuck or when things don't go as planned. That's okay. The purpose of reflection isn't to judge yourself, but to learn. On such days, ask yourself what you can do differently tomorrow. Maybe you need to adjust your approach, seek help, or take a break to recharge. The key is to keep moving forward, even if it's just a tiny step. Reflection isn't just about personal growth. It also enhances your relationships and interactions with others. By reflecting on your communication and behavior, you become more empathetic and understanding. You learn to listen better, resolve conflicts more effectively, and build stronger connections. In the professional world, reflection is equally powerful. It helps you evaluate your performance, adapt to feedback, and continuously improve your skills. It fosters a growth mindset, making you more adaptable and open to change. This is crucial in today's fast-evolving world, where agility and continuous learning are key to success. Leaders who practice reflection inspire their teams to do the same. They create a culture of learning and improvement. They lead by example, showing that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them. This builds trust, encourages innovation, and enhances team performance. In conclusion, reflection is a simple yet powerful habit that can transform your life. It turns action into progress by helping you learn from your experiences. It builds self-awareness, resilience, and productivity. It enables you to celebrate small wins, learn from failures, and make better decisions. It keeps you focused on continuous improvement, ensuring that you get at least 1% better every day. So, take a moment at the end of each day to reflect. Ask yourself, did I get 1% better today? If the answer is yes, celebrate the progress. If not, identify what you can do differently tomorrow. This daily habit of reflection and adjustment will keep you on the path of growth. Remember, improvement isn't automatic, it's intentional, and it begins with reflection. Surround yourself with growth. You are the average of the people you spend the most time with. This statement is more than just a cliche, it's a powerful truth about human behavior. Our environments shape us. The people we surround ourselves with influence our thoughts, beliefs, habits, and ultimately, our growth. If you want to grow, you need to be intentional about who you spend your time with. Growth is contagious. When you're around people who are constantly learning, pushing boundaries, and striving for excellence, it rubs off on you. Their ambition ignites your own. Their discipline challenges your comfort zone. Their achievements inspire you to aim higher. Conversely, if you're surrounded by negativity, complacency, or mediocrity, it becomes harder to break free from that mindset. The influence is subtle but powerful. You start adopting the same limitations and excuses, often without realizing it. This is why it's crucial to surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to be better. Seek out those who are ahead of you, who have achieved what you aspire to achieve. Learn from their experiences and perspectives. Their insights can accelerate your growth by helping you avoid common pitfalls and navigate challenges more effectively. But growth isn't just about looking up to mentors or role models. It's also about being surrounded by peers who share your drive for improvement. These are the people who understand your journey because they're on a similar path. They celebrate your wins and support you through setbacks. They hold you accountable, ensuring that you don't settle for less than your potential. However, surrounding yourself with growth-oriented people doesn't mean abandoning old friendships. It's about striking a balance. Evaluate the influence your current circle has on you. If some relationships are holding you back, it might be time to set boundaries. This doesn't mean cutting people off, but being mindful of how much time and energy you invest in those interactions. Look for environments that encourage growth. Join communities, groups, or organizations that align with your goals. These could be professional networks, hobby clubs, or even online communities. The key is to be in spaces where growth is celebrated, where ideas flow freely, and where challenges are embraced as opportunities to learn. Surrounding yourself with growth also means being open to different perspectives. Don't limit yourself to people who think just like you. Diversity in thought and experience broadens your horizons. It challenges you to question your assumptions and see the world from new angles. This openness fosters creativity and innovation. It's equally important to avoid echo chambers, environments where everyone agrees with you. Growth happens when you're exposed to different viewpoints, even those that contradict your own. It teaches you to think critically and defend your ideas with logic rather than emotion. It builds resilience by helping you handle criticism and disagreements constructively. Growth isn't just about receiving inspiration and knowledge, it's also about contributing to the growth of others. Share your experiences, lessons, and insights. Mentor someone who is a few steps behind you. Teaching reinforces your learning and deepens your understanding. It also cultivates a growth-oriented community where everyone benefits from each other's experiences. Remember, growth isn't a solo journey, it's a collective effort. When you surround yourself with the right people, you create a network of support, inspiration, and accountability. You lift each other up, push each other forward, and celebrate each other's successes. This synergy accelerates progress and makes the journey more fulfilling. Growth is contagious. Choose your circle wisely. Learn to love the plateau. Progress isn't linear. In any journey of growth, there will be times when it feels like you're stuck, not moving forward. These are plateaus, moments when progress slows down or seems to stop altogether. But plateaus aren't the enemy. They're a natural part of the learning process. If you learn to embrace them, they can become powerful opportunities for growth. Plateaus are frustrating because they challenge our expectations. We often assume that consistent effort leads to consistent improvement. But growth doesn't work that way. It comes in spurts, followed by periods of stagnation. These plateaus are not signs of failure. They're signs that you're consolidating your skills, allowing your mind and body to adapt to new challenges. Instead of resisting plateaus, learn to love them. See them as opportunities to refine your skills. During a plateau, you're no longer a beginner struggling to grasp the basics. You've reached a level of competence where improvement requires subtle adjustments and deeper understanding. This is the time to focus on mastery rather than just progression. Plateaus teach patience and perseverance. They test your commitment and determination. It's easy to stay motivated when progress is visible. But true growth happens when you keep pushing forward, even when the results aren't immediate. This resilience builds mental toughness, preparing you for bigger challenges ahead. One of the biggest mistakes people make during a plateau is to change direction too quickly. They get frustrated and jump to a new strategy, method, or goal. But growth requires consistency. Instead of abandoning your approach, dig deeper. Analyze your performance. Identify small areas for improvement. Often, it's not about making drastic changes, but about making subtle adjustments that lead to breakthroughs. Plateaus are also an opportunity to reflect and recalibrate. Are your goals still aligned with your values? Are your methods sustainable? Sometimes a plateau is a sign that you need to adjust your approach, not because it's ineffective, but because your circumstances or priorities have changed. Use this time to assess your journey and make intentional choices. During plateaus, shift your focus from results to learning. Instead of measuring success by outcomes, measure it by effort and growth. Focus on building habits, consistency, and discipline. These foundational elements are what sustain long-term success. It's also important to recognize that plateaus are not just about skill development, they're about mindset. They challenge your patience, self-doubt, and frustration. Learning to navigate these emotions builds emotional intelligence and mental resilience. It teaches you to find motivation from within rather than relying on external validation. A powerful way to embrace plateaus is by practicing gratitude. Celebrate the progress you've made so far. Reflect on how far you've come, even if the current progress is slow. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, helping you appreciate the journey rather than just the destination. Plateaus are also a great time to deepen your understanding. Revisit the basics, refine your fundamentals, and master the details. This solid foundation prepares you for the next leap when progress resumes. Remember, breakthroughs often happen after long periods of stagnation. The plateau is the calm before the storm of growth. Learning to love the plateau transforms frustration into fulfillment. It teaches you that growth isn't just about reaching the next milestone, but about becoming the kind of person who can sustain success. It builds character, patience, and resilience. Embrace the plateau. It's part of the process. It's where mastery is born. 9. The danger of comparison. Comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, confidence, and peace of mind. Yet, in today's world, it's almost impossible to avoid. Social media constantly showcases other people's successes, happiness, and seemingly perfect lives. We scroll through highlight reels, unconsciously measuring our lives against curated moments. This habit of comparison is not just harmful, it's a trap. It distracts you from your own journey and keeps you from appreciating your progress. Everyone's journey is different. We all have unique experiences, challenges, and timelines. Yet, when you compare yourself to others, you overlook these differences. You only see the surface, the achievements, the accolades, the milestones. What you don't see is the struggle behind those successes. The failures, sacrifices, and hard work are often hidden from view. Comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel is not just unfair, it's unrealistic. Comparison breeds insecurity and self-doubt. It makes you question your worth and abilities. When you focus on what others have achieved, you start feeling inadequate. You lose sight of your strengths and gifts. This mindset is toxic because it leads to a cycle of negativity. The more you compare, the more dissatisfied you become, no matter how much you achieve. The danger of comparison is that it shifts your focus outward. Instead of paying attention to your growth, you become obsessed with external validation. You start chasing goals just to keep up with others, not because they resonate with your values or aspirations. This leads to burnout and disillusionment. You end up pursuing a life that doesn't fulfill you because it was never truly yours to begin with. To break free from the comparison trap, focus on your own progress. This doesn't mean ignoring others' achievements. It means celebrating them without letting them diminish your own journey. Understand that success is not a limited resource. Someone else's win doesn't make you a failure. There is enough room for everyone to grow and thrive. Shift your perspective from competition to inspiration. Instead of comparing, learn from others. Let their success motivate you, not intimidate you. Ask yourself what you can learn from their journey. Use it as a source of growth, not as a benchmark for your self-worth. Celebrate your own wins, no matter how small. Progress is personal. What matters is that you're moving forward, even if the pace is slow. When you focus on your growth, you realize that the only person you need to be better than is who you were yesterday. This mindset cultivates self-compassion and gratitude, reducing the urge to compare. It's also important to be mindful of your triggers. If social media fuels your comparison habit, take a break or curate your feed. Follow people who inspire you positively, not those who make you feel inadequate. Surround yourself with content that empowers you to grow, rather than pressuring you to conform. Practice gratitude. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude helps you appreciate your journey, making you less likely to compare it to others. It grounds you in the present moment, reminding you of how far you've come. Another powerful strategy is to set personal goals that align with your values and passions. When you have a clear purpose, you become less concerned with what others are doing. You measure success based on your own criteria, not on societal standards or peer pressure. Remember, it's not about being better than someone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Your journey is yours alone. Embrace it, celebrate it, and grow at your own pace. The ripple effect self-improvement is powerful, not just because it changes you, but because it changes everything around you. This is the ripple effect. When you grow, the impact extends far beyond your personal life. It influences your relationships, work, mindset, and even your environment. Your progress creates a wave of positive change that touches every part of your life. The ripple effect begins within. When you improve yourself, you enhance your confidence, resilience, and emotional intelligence. This inner growth reflects in your actions, decisions, and interactions. You become more patient, empathetic, and understanding. You handle challenges with a growth mindset, seeing setbacks as learning opportunities. This shift in perspective empowers you to navigate life with optimism and purpose. Your improved mindset affects your relationships. When you grow emotionally, you communicate better. You listen more and judge less. You become more supportive and less reactive. This deepens your connections, fostering trust and understanding. Your positivity uplifts others, inspiring them to grow as well. This creates a cycle of mutual growth and support, enriching your social circle. Growth also enhances your productivity and performance. When you learn new skills or improve existing ones, you become more efficient and effective. This not only boosts your confidence, but also influences your work environment. Your dedication and discipline set an example, motivating your colleagues or team members. Your growth becomes a source of inspiration, driving others to strive for excellence. The ripple effect extends to your decision-making and problem-solving abilities. With a growth mindset, you approach challenges creatively and proactively. You're more open to feedback and willing to learn from mistakes. This adaptability makes you a better leader, teammate, or collaborator. It fosters an environment of continuous learning and innovation. Your personal growth also impacts your community. When you lead by example, you influence others to adopt positive habits. Whether it's through your work, social interactions, or community involvement, your growth contributes to the betterment of society. You become a source of positive energy, creating a culture of growth and resilience. The ripple effect isn't just about success. It's also about how you handle failures and setbacks. When others see you face challenges with grace and perseverance, it inspires them to do the same. Your resilience becomes a testament to the power of growth. It shows that setbacks are not the end, but a stepping stone to greater achievements. One of the most beautiful aspects of the ripple effect is its continuity. When you inspire others to grow, they in turn influence more people. Your impact multiplies, reaching far beyond your immediate circle. This chain reaction creates a legacy of positive change, driven by your decision to improve yourself. But the ripple effect isn't automatic. It starts with intention. You must be consistent and genuine in your growth journey. It's not just about achieving personal goals, but about uplifting others through your actions and example. When you approach growth with this mindset, the impact becomes more meaningful and far-reaching. Self-improvement isn't selfish. It's one of the most selfless things you can do. When you become a better version of yourself, you bring out the best in others. You contribute to a culture of growth, positivity, and resilience. The ripple effect transforms not just your life, but the lives of those around you. This is the power of growth. It changes everything. It starts within you, but doesn't end there. It touches every relationship, every interaction, and every environment you are part of. So keep growing. The impact of your growth is far greater than you realize. So here's the question. What's your 1% today? What's that one small thing you can do to move the needle even just a little? Because here's the truth. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be extraordinary. You just have to be consistent. Show up every day. Do the work. Trust the process. And watch what happens. Improving yourself 1% every day isn't just a strategy. It's a mindset. It's a way of life. It's about understanding that real change happens in the small, quiet moments, the moments most people overlook. But those moments, they add up, they compound, and before you know it, you're not just better, you're unstoppable.